The story of this film opens at a school, when a student named Mallory accidentally bumps into three popular girls led by someone named Nanita. The girl immediately accuses Mallory of reporting her to a teacher about the bullying incident they committed against another student a few days earlier. Mallory tries to explain that she never intended to report them, she only answered the teacher's questions when asked for clarification. She even promises she will be more careful next time. But her explanation does not satisfy Nanita. She feels that her pride was humiliated in front of her friends and the teacher, and now all she can think about is getting revenge.
Pay for what you did.
Mallory chooses to walk away to avoid trouble. She runs until she reaches a small bridge surrounded by water.
Sorry. Okay. This? Mallory. Oh.
But Nanita and her two friends continue following her, provoking her with harsh words and insulting remarks. Without warning, Nanita pushes Mallory to the ground. She keeps challenging her to fight, and when Mallory finally stands up, a hard punch lands directly on her face, causing her nose to bleed.
Enjoy this.
Mallory, in pain, remains silent, while Nanita and her friends burst into satisfied laughter. One of them, Manita, even records everything on her phone, then spits in Mallory's direction while insulting her and telling her to go back to America. Moments later, Benita uploads the video online and proudly announces that many people have already watched it.
You're pathetic. Oh my goodness.
Mallory just lies on the ground without fighting back. But after Nanita keeps insulting her, her anger finally explodes. She gets up, picks up something from the ground, and strikes Nanita. At that moment, a man arrives and stops the fight. Some time later, Mallory walks out of the police station accompanied by her uncle, Tommy. Throughout the trip, Tommy remains silent until he finally says that Mallory's condition is truly concerning. Mallory tries to explain that Nanita was the one who hit her first, but everything is already too late.
I want to know what they did to me before that, though.
When they arrive home, Tommy receives a call from the school informing him that Mallory has officially been expelled for hitting Nanita. Hearing this, Mallory says nothing. She just sits with an empty stare directed at a bottle of pills and a bottle of wine on the table. Before leaving, Tommy advises Mallory to try adjusting to her new environment, even though they now live in a different country. But she doesn't pay much attention to his words. The moment her uncle steps out of the room, Mallory immediately swallows all the pills from the bottle and walks outside the house. Not long after she begins walking, her body grows weak and she eventually collapses unconscious. An ambulance arrives quickly and takes her to the hospital. There, the doctor tells Tommy that her condition is stable and there are no serious problems. When Mallory regains consciousness, Tommy approaches her and says that he has been extremely worried about her.
You know, you scared the crap out of me.
A few days after the incident at school, the video of Mallory's fight with Nanita, which has now spread widely online, finally reaches the authorities. In the video, it is clearly shown that Mallory strikes Nanita, causing the girl to fall and suffer a fairly severe injury to her face. Due to pressure from Nanita's family and the school's reputation at stake, the case is taken to court. Mallory, Tommy, and their lawyer must attend the hearing. Before the judge, Mallory is sentenced to 2 years in a rehabilitation facility as well as a large fine for her actions, which are considered anarchic and responsible for causing serious injury to Nanita. There is nothing they can do except accept it.
Niece nearly beat a girl to death. 2 years is a very short time for her crimes. She must pay for her crime and disrespect.
Mallory then returns home to pack her belongings before being taken by her uncle to the facility. Upon arrival, an officer named Sky greets them and takes Mallory to meet the head of the facility. The woman explains that Mallory will be treated well, taken care of properly, and will not feel like she is in a prison. After finishing the conversation, the warden tells her to say goodbye to her uncle outside. In a tearful embrace, Tommy promises he will do anything to get her out of there and assures her that he will stay in contact. After the farewell, Sky takes Mallory into the detention area. As soon as she sees the conditions inside the facility, Mallory immediately feels uncomfortable. The place looks gloomy, and the inmates appear rough. Sky tries to calm her down, then brings her to an open area where other inmates are gathered. At that moment, an inmate named Riz notices Mallory and immediately mocks her in a crude, belittling way.
Schmidt. You said I was!
Fortunately, another inmate named Belle arrives and stops her. Mallory thanks her, but Belle shows little reaction.
Spank me again, I kill ya!
Sky then takes Mallory to her new cell with a guard. She is instructed to change into a facility uniform. Mallory feels embarrassed at first, but an inmate named Kat reassures her, saying it is normal. After finishing, Sky gives her the daily routine schedule and leaves them. Kat then asks why Mallory ended up in the facility, and when Mallory tells her story, Kat seems interested. But when Mallory asks Kat why she is imprisoned, Kat becomes angry and tells her not to interfere.
Welcome to paradise.
Sometime later, lunchtime arrives. Kat invites Mallory to sit with her, while Riz keeps staring at Mallory from afar. Kat explains that Riz is someone who once killed her own family and even a cat, and that is the reason she is imprisoned. Mallory is shocked to hear this. Kat also adds that the system in this facility is very corrupt, and they are often forced to fight one another just for the entertainment of certain people. Not long after, Riz returns and starts harassing Mallory again, until Kat stands up to protect her. A fight almost breaks out before a guard arrives and stops it. After the incident, Kat advises Mallory to start learning how to fight so she can protect herself. Mallory later expresses her desire to call her uncle. Kat warns her that all calls in the facility are monitored.
Make you by doing all kinds of nasty things.
When Mallory finally gets to speak with Tommy, she begs him to do something to get her out. Tommy promises he will try, but their conversation is cut short by a guard.
I'll talk to you later.
Not long after, Mallory is summoned to the warden's office to sign several documents written in a language she does not understand. She hesitates and asks permission to contact her uncle or her lawyer first, but the warden forces her to sign them, claiming that if she refuses, her sentence will not be counted. With no other choice, Mallory signs the documents.
I can promise you this is not something bad.
The next day, Sky came to pick Mallory up to begin working. She chose the job of cleaning the floors. However, Riz caused trouble again by punching Mallory in the face until it bruised.
Sleep with me.
I don't want any trouble.
Check this out.
Damn it! Back!
When Kat found out about it, she immediately attacked Riz even though Mallory tried to stop her. A major fight broke out until the warden arrived and ordered them to be locked inside a cage.
Cat! Wait! Cat! No!
Bring them to the cage.
Bitch!
The warden looked at Mallory with an expression that was difficult to understand. That night, Kat was returned to the cell in a weakened state and covered in injuries. Mallory gathered the courage to approach the warden to protest the cruel treatment happening inside the facility, but all she received in return was a threat to never speak about anything that happened there. The warden also warned her that if she wanted to survive, she had to learn how to fight. From that moment on, Mallory's life behind bars became even more difficult and full of suffering. The warden then summoned one of Mallory's cellmates and ordered them to fight. Mallory looked confused by the situation, but suddenly she received a hard punch to her face. The warden then coldly stated that Mallory needed to learn to become stronger and begin training because she had already scheduled Mallory's first fight for 2 weeks from then. Mallory was of course shocked to hear that. The next day, Mallory went to see Belle in the training room and asked for her help to train. Belle didn't give a positive response at first, but eventually gave her one condition that Mallory had to fulfill if she wanted Belle to train her.
Hold them out like this for 60 seconds. I train ya.
The task turned out to be very difficult for Mallory, to the point that she nearly gave up, but she later tried imitating Belle's movements on her own before finally leaving the training room in frustration. Because she was angry and frustrated, Mallory went to make a phone call. A guard initially tried to stop her, but Sky came and helped Mallory get access to the phone, although she warned her not to report the warden. Mallory managed to make the call, but she couldn't say much because Sky was constantly watching her. During the call, Tommy said that he was not allowed to visit Mallory because he had been told that Mallory herself had signed a document revoking his visitation rights. Mallory immediately realized that the document the warden had forced her to sign earlier was in fact that very document, but she couldn't explain it to her uncle. When Tommy said he would do whatever it took to get her out, Sky abruptly cut the call and took Mallory to the basement. There, Mallory was ordered to remove her clothes. She was shocked and refused, but a guard struck her until she had no choice but to obey. Moments later, the warden arrived and said that they knew Mallory's father was a wealthy man, but because her father refused to pay the ransom they demanded, Mallory had to be punished. Mallory pleaded and promised to try to get the money, but the warden didn't care. She then ordered the guards to commit indecent acts toward Mallory. After everything was over, the warden coldly said that it was only the first lesson and that there would be more as long as Mallory failed to produce the money they wanted. After the incident, Sky took Mallory to shower. In a state of devastation and despair, Mallory attempted to end her life by hanging herself in the bathroom, but the attempt failed. Her body fell to the floor, and Sky found her just in time. Mallory was then taken to a special cell, where the warden came to see her again and issued another threat, reminding her that her big fight was only a week away, so she needed to train properly. Not long after, Kat began helping Mallory train for the fight. As time went by, they grew closer, and while practicing together, they got caught up in the moment and eventually kissed in an empty room. After that, Kat told her that her ex-girlfriend had set her up, which led to her imprisonment, and Mallory tried to comfort her with gentle words. They then returned their focus to training.
When I punch, you block or move, okay? There you go.
That's the only way how to survive in here.
That's 2 minutes. Impressive.
Mallory continued showing rapid progress until Belle noticed her and gave her praise. But that happiness did not last long. As Mallory was training with Kat, the warden arrived and announced that since Mallory was now strong enough, she would be scheduled to participate in an exhibition fight before the actual big fight. Mallory didn't feel ready, but she had no choice and was taken to the fighting arena. She was shocked to discover that her opponent was Nanita, the girl who had once beaten her at school. It turned out that after the school incident, Nanita became involved in another case of violence outside of school and eventually received a prison sentence. Unexpectedly, fate brought them together once more in the same place. Mallory, who was initially hesitant, suddenly felt excited to fight. The battle was intense, with Nanita dominating at first. However, after some time, Mallory managed to turn the tables and beat her until Nanita was nearly unconscious. The warden watching the fight appeared to enjoy it, while one of the guards behind her recorded the entire event. The next day, Mallory was called to the warden's office. The woman praised Mallory's victory and said that the video of her fight had gained many viewers and made her popular. She also informed Mallory that her uncle had paid someone to receive permission for visitation, but warned Mallory not to reveal anything about the prison's conditions, threatening that she would kill Tommy if the secret got out. The warden then added that Tommy had only two options: pay to secure Mallory's freedom, or make Mallory fight Riz in a life-or-death match for her own release. Mallory chose the second option. She was then brought to meet Tommy, who looked shocked to see Mallory's face filled with bruises. Tommy asked about her condition, but Mallory couldn't say much because Sky was standing right behind her. Tommy then suggested that Mallory contact her father because he was the only one with enough influence to get her out of there. He also said he had tried, but her father refused to listen. Mallory rejected the suggestion and angrily cursed her father before leaving the room.
Pick up one of those phones over there.
No, and don't ask me to do it again.
Now!
You did the right thing. It would just drain him all the money and it would get you nowhere unless you know the right people.
Some time later, while Mallory was training in the gym, the warden came and revoked her training privileges for no clear reason. Mallory was confused but continued training secretly inside her cell with Kat's help. Kat warned that the warden actually wanted Mallory to lose the fight. The next day, when Riz was training in the gym, the warden arrived and ordered a guard to inject a supplement into Riz's body. She then told Riz that in the upcoming fight, he had to kill Mallory if he wanted his freedom. Meanwhile, Belle advised Mallory that the only way to defeat Riz was to have a strong mentality. When lunchtime came, the guards deliberately prevented Mallory from receiving her meal and even forbade her from sharing food with Kat. That night, hunger forced Mallory to rely on the rats running around her cell, although Kat couldn't bear to see her in such a condition.
You lost your mind. I can't win on an empty stomach. That's disgusting. Oh.
Finally, the night of the fight arrived. The warden stood in front of the two fighters and declared that only one of them would leave alive because one of them had to die. Kat, Belle, several other inmates, and a guard assigned to record the fight were all present to witness it. The fight began. Both fighters showed extraordinary strength, exchanging brutal blows without mercy. But in the end, Mallory succeeded in knocking Riz to the ground. The warden then ordered her to finish Riz, but Mallory refused and shouted at her. The warden tried to persuade her by saying she could make things easier for Mallory while handing her a knife. Mallory pretended to obey, lifted Riz up, and appeared ready to slice his throat, but suddenly she turned around and used the moment to deceive the warden and the guards.
And we kill you both. You don't want to do this, Mallory.
She managed to seize the warden and hold her at knife point, threatening to kill her if any of the guards dared to shoot. The warden continued resisting and screaming, but Mallory stabbed her without hesitation. She then ordered the guards to drop their weapons and handed one of them to Kat. Kat took one of the guns, and together with Mallory, they began moving toward the exit while still holding the warden hostage. The guards didn't dare act because Kat was pointing the gun at them. Once they were outside, Kat took the warden's car keys and rushed to retrieve the vehicle. Mallory then handed the dying warden over to Riz and several other inmates, who immediately beat her mercilessly as the woman begged for mercy. Moments later, Kat arrived with the car. Mallory quickly got in and told Kat that they had to head to the United States Embassy. Kat stepped on the gas and drove away from the prison, marking the end of Mallory's long and dark journey in that place. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy, hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. You should watch the full movie. Thank you very much for watching.